2013, was a South African political activist who spent over 20 years in prison for his opposition to the apartheid regime. He was later released in 1990 and in 1994 was later elected the first leader of a democratic South Africa. He was awarded Nobel Peace Prize in 1993 for his work in helping to end racial segregation in South Africa. He is considered the father of democratic South Africa and widely admired for his ability to bring together a nation previously divided by apartheid. Nelson Mandela, more than just a political leader. Inspiration 100.5 FM, more than just a radio station.
Yeah. Family radio, something for everybody. Keep you grooving on. From the dawn into the dusk, yeah. 100.5. Education, information, entertainment, news and sport at its best. You know what we talking about. It's the radio for everybody. Inspiration, 105. Family radio, something for everybody. 100.5, yeah. Inspiration FM. Inspiration 100.5.
All right, good morning. You're welcome. It's Inspiration 100.5 FM, your number one family radio. It's pay-per-view. I am JADESOLA AJIBOla. And with me?
Seun Akande.
All right, Seun Akande, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing very well.
All right, so I have Vanguard newspaper, I have the Nigerian Tribune, and I have this day newspaper. What do you have there?
I have the Nation newspaper. I have Punch newspaper and the Daily Trust newspaper this morning.
All right, so let me begin with the stories on the front page of Vanguard newspaper. Mayday, halt last minute looting, Labour task Buhari. That's the major story on the front page of Vanguard newspaper. With some riders to that, oil market, Nigeria's average output drops by 7.6% to 1.3 MBD. That's there. All right. Southern Kaduna, 518 killed, 18 villages raised in a type. Let me see this well. Okay, in a child chiefdom in 6 years. All right. Troops rescue pregnant Chibok girl, schoolgirl. That's also there. Moving on. Golden Eaglets battle Morocco for Group B leadership. All right, to all the story there. That story is on page 30 and page 22. Address issues causing brain drain. Health workers charge federal government. The story is there. All right, moving to all the story. UTME JAMB fixes Saturday for candidates who missed exams. All right, cancer scare. Why we banned importation of Indomie noodles. Okay, that's according to NAFDAC. You can grab a copy of the Vanguard newspaper to read that.
Indomie.
Yes. All right, police panel invites suspended Adamawa wreck over Guba poll roll. That's also there. All right, moving to other stories this morning. Manufacturing output falls 9.7% to 6.67 trillion naira. All right, IPPRS pardon or AGF suspends staff. Anti-graft agencies launch investigations. On our main day, we are committed to workers' welfare. That's according to some governors. All right, it's Nigeria's weakness to allow a Kwerimadu serve jail time in UK. That's according to Garba. All right, Egypt opens borders for Nigerian students fleeing Sudan, says federal government. That's all I have on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. All right, of course, show.
Yes, from the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning, we have this story. Tinubu promises staff decisions. NLC demand new retirement age. We have this Oyetola inaugurates panel. Aregbesol's men list condition for talk. We have these as far as the Punch newspaper is concerned this morning. So we move to the Nation's newspaper, where we have this powerful story on the front page of the newspaper. We have pay rise coming for health workers, lecturers, holders. I hope that's a good news. Pay rise coming for health workers, lecturers, others. Government officials suspended over alleged salary padding. We need more of this. 80,000 to write rescheduled UTME May 6. Oyebanji to youth. Be prepared for leadership role. That's it. That's good. Stakeholders hail conduct of CBT. Lagos okays equal up deployment in Lekki Ekpe corridor. And those are the stories we have on the pages of the front page of the Nation this morning. So right there we move to Daily Trust. Cancer scare. We have banned importations of Indomie noodles. NAFDAC. That is something that I don't get. I don't get that, but we'll get to the story soon. Egypt has opened borders for Nigerians fleeing Sudan. Federal government says that. Bus conveying stranded Nigerian from Sudan catches fire. That is a sorry case. 4 robber suspects are arrested 1 month after operations in Ogun. Kano Seal block industry for violating sanitation order. Stakeholder holds peace rally on Garimpa conflicts. And the Nigerian, our home, our country. That is, these are the top stories on the pages of the Daily Trust. Over to you.
All right, let's quickly take stories that made the headline on the front page of this day newspaper. Genduje to Kwakwan, so God will not allow anybody destroy our new Kano Emirate. All right, that's a major story there. You also have Buhari charges successor to respect workers' rights. All right, is also there. All right, Abdul Razak, the governor of Kwara State, celebrate workers. And of course, you still have on that front page, Obi, contrary to report, I was never arrested in London. That's there. All right, let me quickly go to the front page of the Nigerian Tribune of this morning. I have the major story there. Salary payment will be difficult from June if, as according to Obaseki. Stories on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune. Egypt has opened border to Nigerian fleeing Sudan. That's according to the federal government. The stories there. El Rufai Abbas splits Northwest governors over lobby for position. It's also there. Official bullying pattern of judiciary emerging. That's according to Atiku. Only APC NEC can initiate my expulsion, Lukman tells Adamu. Bangdi killed 518 in Zangon Kataf, I beg your pardon, in 6 years. That's according to Community Association. NAFTA begins testing of Indomie noodles today. All right, moving to other stories that Lagos approves deployment of e-call off system of Lekki Ekpe corridor to ease gridlock. And of course, you have the last one there with about 4 riders. My administration will take tough decision, but fight for workers. That's according to Tinubu. And with 4 riders respect workers' right, Buhari tasked incoming government. NLC demands 65 years retirement age can want better welfare for workers. It's time to prioritize social justice. That's according to International Labour Organization. The story is on page 2. You can grab a copy to read further. All right, we'll go straight into the stories there where you have stories on the May Day celebration from the Nigerian Tribune. The Labour Center in Oyo State have demanded an increase in the 30,000 minimum wage. The workers also asked the state governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, to root out employers in private sector subjecting workers to despicable working conditions. These calls were contained in the remarks of the state chairman of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Mr. Martin Kayode, and his trade union counterpart, Mr. Bosun Olabiyi, at the 2023 May Day celebration held at the Lake Salami Stadium at Adamasingba, Ibadan on Monday. Giving his remarks, the NLC chairman said workers yearned for a living wage, noting that life had been hard for workers earning the 30,000 naira minimum wage compared to increasing cost of living. Kayode called on the Makinde government to open room for dialogue regarding minimum wage increment, adding that there would be need to consciously motivate and constantly organize training for and workshop for workers. On his part, the TUC chairman said the body had data of employers in the private sector engaging in despicable acts like child labor, forced labor, more hours than acceptable, and subjecting workers to hardship. Olabiyi said the TUC wanted collaboration with the state government to rid the state of such lawlessness. Or rather, still on the stories around the May Day celebration, because this morning will be joining us this morning is the, of course, immediate past TUC chairman in Oyo State, Comrade Emmanuel Ogundiro, is joining us shortly. Of course, I also have the story of May Day. Halt last-minute looting, Labour tells Buhari. Okay, organized Labour yesterday raised the alarm over what it described as last-minute looting of Treasury by outgoing governors, ministers, and all the political office holders, and called on President Muhammadu Buhari to do everything possible to stop them. Leaders of the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, and the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, TUC counterpart, raised the alarm in a joint address delivered at the National Workers' Day celebration held at the Eagle Square, Abuja. The two Labour centers also sounded a note of warning to the incoming government that they would resist any hike in pump price of petrol in the name of subsidy removal or any other gas. They spoke as the president-elect, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, vowed to give more than a minimum wage to Nigerian workers, promising instead to give them a living wage. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has urged Tinubu to continue to respect workers' rights as the Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, called on incoming administration at all levels to initiate, rejuvenate, and focus on policies that promote inclusiveness, protect small and medium-sized enterprise, grow the middle class, and prioritize infrastructural development. Also, the Christian Association of Nigeria can urge government and employers to prioritize welfare of workers in the country, with the main opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP, urging workers to reinforce their resistance against anti-democratic forces seeking to take control of Nigeria. Sean, do you have any story on Workers' Day?
Yes, I do.
Let's go ahead.
We have these stories on the front page of The Nation this morning. Pay rise coming for health workers, lecturers, others. Other categories of the further workers, including health workers and lecturers, will soon enjoy a pay rise like their counterpart, called civil servants who are consolidated public service salary structure, CONPSS. Minister of Labor and Employment, Chris Ngige, said yesterday during the May Day rally in Abuja that fund for the planned increase in wages have been captured in this year's budget. Cause civil servants are already enjoying 40% peculiar allowances approved for them by federal government with effect from January. President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu promised a better deal for all workers under his administration, pledging that they will enjoy a living wage for a decent life. Chris Ngige said since introduction of CONPSS on January 1st, 2007, it has not been reviewed by any of the past administration, but for the consequential minimum wage adjustment of 2019 for all wages structures under this government in 2019. However, in line with the yearning and aspiration of Nigerian workers, the federal government recently worked out the introduction of a 40% peculiar allowance into the remuneration of emolument of core federal civil servant and other public servant on the CONPSS to help cushion the effect of inflation and other costs of doing their work, as they are not on special allowances. Therefore, Ngige appealed to labor to ensure industrial peace and harmony remain your watchword. Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, and the Trade Union Congress, TUC, asked for an extension of retirement age for the civil servant from 60 to 65 and or 40 years of service.
All right, thank you very much, Sean. All right, this morning we have with us as guest this morning on the program my comrade senior, Isoleto. Africa. All right, comrade senior, let's look at the issues this morning. Yesterday was a celebration of Workers' Day, so let me use this opportunity to wish you happy Workers' Day, comrade. So let's begin by looking at assessing and comparing this year's Workers' Day. How would you describe this year's Workers' Day?
Well, it's been almost the same. We only thank God that Nigerian workers are still alive despite what we faced in the last few years. This Buhari era, I'm very sure, will go down in the annals of history as a very challenging one for Nigerian workers. Apart from the economy, we all remember 2021, latter part of 2020, 2021, to early part of 2022, COVID-19. The economy has been in shambles. This regime, the worst they have done for the government, for the country and for the citizen, is the fact that they have no solution to Nigerian economic woes. Rather, they compounded it. They came on board. They know that this is a regime that knows that the petroleum sector, or is it a subsector now, has a lot to do with the Nigerian economy. They promised that 6 months after they came on board, that the refineries will begin, our local refineries will begin to function. I don't think it is yet 6 months that this regime has been on board since 2015.
Comrade.
So this is an unserious regime that we found that and this was a regime that when coming on board said subsidy was a scam. In fact, the amount of money, Nigerian money, that this regime has spent on subsidy is more than the previous one.
Maybe they didn't know.
Oh, and that is why you don't just talk recklessly. You don't trace people's hope before you know what and where the fact actually lies. So, Nigerian workers, we thank God. People thought it was so easy. There was supposed to be a new minimum wage law of 2016. We were on it for 4 years because we started since 2014, 2015 before it was signed into law in 2019. And what is the meaning? By next year, another minimum wage law should be enacted. Is this government ready? You see, people thought Nigerian workers, we are the most patriotic set of people. Because we cannot say we are demanding, it is our right, when we know that the economy cannot contain it. When we know that the employer cannot afford to pay. So we have to sit down, look at if the employer will be very transparent in opening its books. The Nigerian workers are very, very sensitive. They are highly trustworthy and highly patriotic. we would. That has been the level of operation of the labor movement. So yesterday, this year's Workers' Week that culminated in the D-Day of yesterday, we thank God. We are giving thanks to God in the mosque, in the church. We had symposia here and there. And then yesterday, yes, at the national level, I think it was a bit, but at the state level, I was a bit disturbed that whether there is continuity, whether it is the same governor that continues or not. You see, I remember when Jason was coming on board, I was at the M of Affairs as the TUC chairman. Our speech that year was like setting an agenda for the incoming administration, which he never, in fact, all our pleadings, all what we said for him, this man went through it and he was taking it one by one. But I expected something like that yesterday from my leaders, the incumbent leaders of the two labor centers. There was nothing like agenda setting, especially as regards workers' welfare for the incoming administration in Oyo State. This I expect them to do, knowing that the man you have is a man of his words. And so the man saw that. All our governor did yesterday was to catalog all the achievements that we have seen, and we applauded, quite all right. And because he was not challenged on what should be expected, he did not say anything.
But he could have also had something to say, whether he was challenged or not.
You see, this is leadership in Nigeria. Remember, the man at the M of Affairs has limitation in terms of resources. You see, he's behaving like, even Nigerian justice system now is, they can award you what you did not request for. But this is governance. The GSM is becoming smarter by day.
Yes.
He's becoming smarter by day.
You get only what you ask.
Oh, yes. What you request, you get.
So the opportunity is lost.
We lost it yesterday.
Let's not give up, because the GSM we're all dealing with might just give an opportunity. We know there will still be, but that is a like blank check. That was missed.
Yes, and we miss writing the amount of money that can at least sustain us till some period.
But of course, the governor, His Excellency Governor Sheyi Makinde, is a workers-friendly governor.
No, you see, that's why I said we missed it, because this man has listening ears, and there's even if it was not in his speech, once you say it, you will see the man scribbling it down, and he will. The GSM I know, he will respond. Whichever one, yes. When he was coming on board, I was the sitting chairman of TUC.
Yes.
So, there were certain things he did then, and we reminded him during his inauguration, and he sustained it.
Okay, so let's quickly look at this. When he came on board, let's look at the time he came on board and now. Would you say that he has done extremely well with workers in your state? Would you say that going forward, you see him doing better?
I think it's rhetorical, and I will put it back to you. I don't know if you can recollect whether there was a time your state workers went on a protest.
No, that's where I'm going.
No, that's it.
In his 4 years.
If he had not, you see, I told you, workers, we are highly considerate. Remember when this man came on board, the minimum wage issue came. I've been in business of negotiating at least as far back as the late 90s. This regime happened, to have the fastest negotiation, including implementation, in the record of Oyo State. Yeah, I'm saying it. I was at the M of Affairs as the chairman, Public Service Joint Negotiating Council, and we had the fastest in our history.
Okay, Comrade Senior, you would allow me go on this break because we need to take this commercial. When we come back, I will look at other issues apart from the state government's performance vis-a-vis, workers' welfare. We'll also look at how the federal government fared, how they expected to fare in the coming days with the new government, new regime coming on board. We'll be right back. It's still pay-per-view on Inspiration 100.
Transactions with Pay Attitude app and star 569 hash. It's your sure way to enjoy successful transactions.
What is Pay Attitude app and star 569 hash?
Pay Attitude app and star 569 hash are the sure app and USSD code that allow you to send and receive money without any problems. You can also link all your accounts from your different banks, send and receive money from a single app or USSD code. You can use your phone number to pay online or merchants POS and withdraw cash from ATMs or agents locations. To enjoy, just dial star 569 hash or download the Pay Attitude app to get started.
Pay Attitude. What's your phone number?
It's the IFM Children's Day Carnival 2023. Who is excited? Their giggles, their smiles, their innocent hearts. It's that time of the year where we celebrate our children in a wonderful way. Introducing the IFM Children's Carnival 2023. Date, May 26th. Venue, Inspiration FM House, 43 Standard Junction, Orita Basharu, Ibadan. It's the carnival you all don't want to miss. There will be games, slides, candy floors, and this time, a raffle draw that qualifies your child to win educational tabs, rechargeable power bikes, school bags, and lots more. Entrance fee is 2,500 naira. Inspiration FM Children's Day Carnival is proudly supported by Nature Street Cafe Bistro Events, the Rainbow Gateway Humanitarian Foundation, Bees Kiddies, Double T Stop and Shop, and lots more. IFM Children's Day Carnival 2023. You don't want to miss it.
Oluyole City, Ibadan, Atide. Check us out on 100.5 FM.
All right, welcome back. It's still pay-per-view on Inspiration 100.5 FM. All right, quickly, let's look at May Day celebration at the national level. Let's rate President Muhammadu Buhari. You have said a lot, but I like us to rate him properly. Minimum wage, we say that, he didn't do well. Payment of salary, the same way the state government also did well in terms of salary payment. Regularly. How would you also rate the federal government away from scarcity of fuel, and all of that? Let's even, be factual with workers' welfare.
No, you cannot. We cannot just rate him independent of all other issues, because when he pays, the money is spent on the other sectors of the economy. So there's no way we can rate him different from fuel scarcity, insecurity, his management of COVID and whatever. I cannot give PMB more than 3 out of 10. 30%.
30%.
Oh,
over
yes.
100.
Yeah.
Children, that's really poor.
It's really bad. So what are the parameters?
Good. I've just said something. There was supposed to be, he came on board 2015.
Okay.
There was supposed to be a minimum wage law 2016.
Okay.
Not until 2019. What happened to inflation? What happened to exchange rate? What happened to PMS scarcity? What happened? He did not consider all this. And this is a climb. Go to Senate climb. Workers are being paid fortnightly. Somewhere weekly. This is a country where you wouldn't know how your worker lives, how he comes to work, how he works, how he sustains himself health-wise, and you want that worker to go a whole hog of 30 days before you pay him a dime. And this is a regime that says no work, no pay.
But there's NHIS for the federal workers. So the government is doing something.
For the federal workers?
Yes.
What?
NHIS, National Health Insurance.
Uh-huh. What is? Are they not paying the premium?
Yes, they are.
So what is?
Okay, you do not consider that as an achievement?
Don't you pay even for your third party insurance?
Yes, we
in Oyo State, we were not on NHIS. We have our own Oyo State Health Insurance Scheme, OYHIS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now let me take you on this side. What has been the contributions of? Have you ever thought about the contributions of it is associations under the National Labour Congress? I don't want to mention the particular.
Wait. Whatever you say, the contribution of workers to the economy or what?
No, not to the economy. I'm trying to look at what their involvement in electioneering. Some of them have been accused of manipulating election results, and they are
Nigerian workers.
Yes.
Go and look at the setup. Excuse me. Go and look at the set of people that have been used, either their NYSC or their academias. So the academians, they are the top echelon.
Okay.
So they know them.
Okay.
Others are INEC staff.
Okay, sir. Are the because you need to educate people.
Yeah.
ASU and Co. Are they under national?
Oh yes, ASU is a union under the Nigeria Labour Congress.
Okay, but whatever they do, are we not saying that NLC too is?
You don't forget.
Because
Just like when there is this independent private broadcasters,
Yes.
and Inspiration FM has its own autonomy, at least to some extent.
Yes.
So it can only be regulated when it's getting out of hand at the top.
Yes.
So ASU as a union has internal
umbrella that
yes, and it is
they are independent body.
it has its own independence as a union,
Yes.
as backed up by its constitution.
Yes.
Then coming under the umbrella of the NLC.
Yeah.
You see, NLC as the umbrella body cannot dabble into the internal politics of any union if it's not invited or it's getting out of hand.
Yes. What I'm trying to do is this.
But
We are trying to
that area you are going to,
Yes.
it has not gotten out of hand, as I'm saying. Yeah. Because the fact of the matter is, there was election, there was coalition, there was whatever is you give to the man who will declare it, who happen now to be a vice chancellor of a university or whatever, is what he will read. What of the annex staff that did the coalition?
Yeah, it's still the same thing. We are looking at your involvement, member organization.
And I've told you about the autonomy of each body.
Okay, is there any way you can regulate this and call this union to order that they should do if they don't do the right thing?
No. You see, one thing you are forgetting is taking part in election is just part of our civic right or whatever, and those people were recruited as ad hoc staff.
Yes.
Once they do that, after that, the job is done.
They're
it's
no
off.
longer-
So
yes,
there's
it's
no law.
responsibility
There is
of
no
INEC.
law that can say, okay, we'll revisit this, we'll do this in the union.
Okay.
So it is the regulatory body that's supposed to make sure that these people you want to use for these ad hoc duties
It's even an
are
independent responsibility.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with the
So,
union
they were
law,
picked based on their personal merit.
not under the union.
Okay.
Had it been they said, union, give us so no.
Invited as returning officer. And at the point where they were supposed to collate results, INEC had changed the lists. I do not want to mention the states or the rec involved, had changed the lists. And they got there, they were supposed to be picked. They were supposed to assign vehicles to them. They didn't get it.
Look at the embarrassment. Look at the embarrassment.
They got there and they had started an argument on who was supposed to carry what responsibility. So
from today.
Yes. So cancer scare why we ban Indomie noodles. That's according to NAFDAC. The National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, said it will commence random sampling of Indomie noodles, including the seasoning from the production facility. This is coming on the heels of the recalling of Indomie noodles by Taiwan and Malaysian authorities following the discovery of ethylene oxide, a cancer-causing agent. Announcing this in a statement, the Director General of the agency, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, who explained that the compound of interest was ethylene oxide, said already the Director of the Food Lab Services Directorate has been engaged and has started working on the methodology for the analysis. Adeyeye said, and I quote, Indomie noodles have been banned from being imported into the country for many years. It is one of the foods on the government's prohibition list. It is not allowed in Nigeria and therefore not registered by NAFDAC. Many of us are surprised though. What are we doing is an extra caution to ensure that the product is not smuggled in. If so, our post-marketing surveillance will detect it. We also want to be sure that the spices used for Indomie and other noodles in Nigeria are tested. That is what NAFDAC Food Safety and Applied Nutrition FSAN and Post-Marketing Surveillance PMS are doing this week at the production facility and in the markets respectively. She, however, promised the Nigerians will be duly updated with the outcomes of investigation. According to the WHO, World Health Organization, ethylene oxide is a colorless, a highly reactive and flammable gas widely used in an intermediate in the production of various chemicals. WHO, in a report, noted the findings from animal investigation test system and epidemiological findings suggested an increase in the incidence of human cancer. It also added that the report concludes that ethylene oxide should be considered probably human carcinogen and that its levels in the environment should be kept as low as feasible. All right, comrade, let's look at Indomie. A lot of children have high intake of Indomie. A lot of adults, a lot of young people who don't know how to cook, especially bachelors, see it as like the fastest food. Maybe Sean is also guilty of taking Indomie. Noodles.
I'm also trying to see whether this is an importation of Indomies. There are Indomies that are being manufactured here in Nigeria. Are they included?
Noodles.
Noodles.
They are not Indomie, but they are noodles.
They are noodles.
You see? They are noodles. So, are they included in this?
Well, this story hasn't told us that.
That's what I'm saying, because so that people
will not demarket.
Yes.
It's not about us. About
whether it will demarket, whether it will even get it out of market, we don't care. It is the safety of what we consume. The question I have is, this element that has now been discovered, is it just been discovered, or it has been ever present in Indomie? If it is, the result will not be now. The result of all those lazy people that have been consuming these noodles, that the result will be in the next 5, 10, 15 years.
Honestly, I think...
And that is where the danger lies. So, you see, Nigeria, we are fond of copy and paste.
Yeah, imbibing wrong culture.
I'm very sure, I don't know, that what was found in the brand that is banned will be contained in the brand that is locally produced. Go and mark it. Go and mark my word. So,
Shane, what are you thinking?
I'm actually, it's like my life is before me.
That's your best meal.
junk food. You see.
I think parents have a lot to do in ensuring that they feed their children with, fresh and well-cooked food. I can't count how many times I give room for my children to even have a taste of noodles. It's like we have demarketed it in my house.
Yes.
So, and I think not because we knew it, but I think cooking fresh food meal for your families is quite good and it's commendable. I think everyone needs to begin to look in the direction.
You see, people will say it is economy, it is this, it is that, whereas it's issue of penny wise, pound foolish to a lot of people.
Because
I wouldn't know how a family would, how a parent would take the whole family out to go and feast on junk food. And you think you not have the repercussion?
They think they're enjoying.
No, it's laziness, carelessness. And look at the amount of money they will waste on that junk food. Take that money to Bodija market. Go and buy fresh food.
They will say
vegetables.
They will say Rita, you are not. That's the way they'll say it.
Because of the activity, the business of the.
Then you begin to kill yourself gradually.
No. I'm not saying that what they're doing is outrightly good, but once in a while, imagine you've gone to the office, you've been to the office since morning, and you came back very late, so tired.
What stops you? What stops you from taking your food flask? What stops you from taking your food flask to the office?
Yeah, sometimes people imagine that somebody lives in Lagos, maybe he works in the Highland and lives in the mainland in Lagos, and then you go out very early, as early as 5 a.m.
It's not an excuse.
I'm very sure, Sheung, if you have a 5 a.m. flight to catch at the airport, you will have been at the airport by 2 a.m. So look, it's the way we schedule our system, a body system.
But because life is becoming.
Let me give you an instance. When I was in Lagos, I lived in Ikorodu at some point. We would leave home at 4:30 for VI. I had a baby, and I would cook before I leave the house because I would go with my flask.
But when do you normally get home?
I get home around 11 sometimes.
Okay. Well, if you do that,
and I still cook and eat.
Do I shock you? I started hating this junk food. I'm a village person.
That's where we're going.
I grew up eating. In fact, I can eat amala 3 times a day. My family, they know that. But as a young officer, when I moved from classroom to the civil service, I was on a 3-month course. God, opportunity to eat these snacks. I'm telling you, in 3 months, I was double my current. Yeah.
This is junk food.
And do you know that one aided my developing high blood pressure?
Wow.
Yeah, when the shock came, my immunity
couldn't
no longer bear it. Yeah. If I were to have been myself before that 3 months that blew me up, then my tummy, my breath will be.
Don't go there.
So since then I knew that this thing is very dangerous. I'm talking as far that was around 1997.
Wow.
Yeah. Since then, if I go to seminars, workshop, they want to feed me, I know what to take. I rather take my tea. If there is biscuits, I prefer that. All these junk foods, in fact, I do take them home. Yeah.
Okay. Because of our time, let's quickly go on this break. When we come back, callers are already on. Our listeners want to also share the views because we'll ask them to do it quickly. But let's go on this break.
Yeah, because we are in the spirit of May Day now, Workers' Day.
John, now what for you? It's not your fault. If only
Attitude app and star 569
hash.
Pay Attitude app and star 569 hash at the Sure app and USSD code that allow you to send and receive money without any problems. You can also link all your accounts from your different banks, send and receive money from a single app or USSD code. You can use your phone number to pay online or merchants POS and withdraw cash from ATMs or agents' locations. To enjoy, just dial star 569 hash or download the Pay Attitude app to get started.
Pay Attitude. What's your phone number?
It's midnight. You're on an important call. Suddenly you hear...
You have 1 minute remaining.
You quickly check your wallet. And there's no cash. What if you could recharge without cash? It's that easy. MTN. What are we doing today?
Oluyole City, Ibadan. Atide. Check us out on 100.5 FM.
All right, well, I'll come back. I can see the lines buzzing. Okay, let's quickly do this. I'll take calls quickly. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you calling from? Let's do this in just 30 seconds if you can. Let's do this.
Good morning, Madam JADESOLA.
Good morning.
Let me leave Indomie for now. Because we are in a country where you ban importation of something and there will be no consequence for those who are still importing it. So I don't want to talk about Indomie. I want to talk about my Baba comrade in the house. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Most of the time, your union does not fight for the necessary things. You fight for effect. Where Mr. Shin in the house was trying to talk about the irregularities that happen during election, which directly or indirectly your people are part of it. Secondly, why this incoming administration of Tinubu, this is the fight I would advise you to fight. You call it a good fight. Let you people go on strike just to make sure the president give us a timeline to fix our refineries.
Okay.
Leave subsidy. Please fight for that refinery to work.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good one. Thank you very much, Biondo Fatuga. I'll take the second call quickly before I begin to take messages. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, John. Let's go quickly.
Good morning, comrades. My brother in the studio. This is John Larwaju from Magdalene. On the issue of Workers' Day, I thought I had that workers asking for the tenure to extend their tenure years of service to 65 years and 40 years. I think I'm not tied to it. Why did the workers want to spend all their days in service?
They don't want the upcoming generation to have jobs.
Yes. Apart from even incoming generation, even they themselves, it's like they don't want to plan for themselves. They don't want to have rest for themselves. And I understand where they were. I'm telling you, it's because of the poverty and because of the level the government treated the workers. That was why they were asking for if not, if the government treated them very well, they won't be bothered. They will even quickly leave the service to go and enjoy themselves. Thank you and good morning.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, let me just put in.
I already picked a call. Sorry, let's just take this. Okay. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, go ahead.
You want to stay in service, to die in service. When actually I'm not getting employment.
Employment, yeah.
A lot of things are happening in the civil service. But you see, most of our elders, they have changed, altered their age to remain in service. I do know that when you become director, you have a lot of opportunities. Maybe that is why some of them want to graduate at the age of 28. They don't get jobs till 35, 30 something. Then you want to still remain in service for that child.
The state chairman of Public Service Joint Negotiating Council, this issue was coming up. In fact, a lot of us rose against it. Categories to... So, you see, I had left office when there was that circular that all workers should demand elongation because what is sourced for the goods should be sourced for the gander. When you have 80-year-old set of people in the upper chamber sleeping And they are collecting Nigerian money. Look, if they want to just scuttle everything, let it be done. Personally, I am against that. And whoever, you see, like the last speaker has said, a lot of Nigerian workers have doctored their age. How many Nigerian workers can come out with their birth certificate? What you have is the affidavit. If once it is affidavit, look, as far back as 1900, there have been birth certificates. So when some people will say, by the time I was born, there was no birth certificate. So all those ones, I'm talking as a matter of reality.
No, they will say they gave birth to them when one bridge.
So whatever. Like if somebody like me, I am saying it openly now, and I've said this somewhere else. If somebody like me had been using affidavit, I will have gone during Ajimobi era. But I thank God that at least. So, and when you have that thing, even while I was occupying leadership position, I do say it in my acceptance speech, I will not spend an extra day more than my usefulness in that office. That doesn't mean I will complete that tenure. If I know I'm no more useful to that office, I will go.
Okay, let's quickly take some messages. I can see you from Barimo. Adeboje Yusuf Oladimeji, thank you. Aaron Babako, thank you. We can see you say good morning. Also, moment. Greetings to. Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate you. All right, MC Da Prince, thank you very much. Miriam Abejide, thank you very much. Jola Osho Henry Adeyinka, thank you. We can see you. Ahmed for Lashade, thanks for joining us. I'm going to be Ade Sheriff. You can see you. Olufemi Ayodele, thank you very much. Raji Afiz Abitemi is saying good morning. He's saying good morning. Madam Jadesola, an analyst in the studio on the issue of NLC requesting for increase in service age. Honestly, we don't need it. What we need more is good environment, healthcare service, and they should work on inflation. All right, thank you very much. I've taken that as well. Miriam Yetunde, can see you. Thank you very much. Adebayo, Timilayin T-Boy, thank you. All right, that's all the messages we have this morning. Trust me, I would have loved to take more calls. Okay, let me take this one before we call it a day. Quickly, let's do this. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. My name is Kola. I'm calling from Utado.
Kola, quickly, let's do this. We have less than 60 seconds.
On the disbanded Nigerian in Sudan.
Okay.
We love to deceive ourselves in this country. Last week, federal government told us that certain amount will be set aside to
$1.2 million now. Say it. $1.2 million.
And we said that we short an amount. Nigeria must be in Nigeria by Thursday or Friday. But federal government told us they will be in Nigeria by Friday. This was last week. Up to now, they are yet to be in Nigeria.
We pray for their safe return.
Instead of telling us that they are now in Egypt, they are telling us that Egypt opened their border for Nigeria. Yes, it's not making any sense. Are they still in Sudan or are they in Nigeria? You see, we love deceiving ourselves in this country. That's why we are calling for strong institutions.
Thank you, Kola.
On Workers' Day, let me quickly add this. You see, on Workers' Day, now that workers now are self-center, I will support them on the tailor their thinking towards the
Thank you very much, Kola. Kola,
Thank you.
have a great day.
Thank you.
Yes, he will join Comrade Emmanuel. Thank you very much. All right, on this note, we want to call it a day with say a big thank you to my comrade senior, Comrade Emmanuel Ogundera, for immediate past TUC chairman, and of course, is a public affairs analyst. Thank you very much, Comrade Senior.
It's my pleasure to always be here.
All right, and so, of course, I'd like to say have a great day, enjoy yourself. I am Jadesola Ajibola. Have a great day.
From the ancient city of 7 hills and valleys, the big brown roof city, the city of many firsts, the land of warriors. This is Inspiration 100.5 Ibadan, your number one family radio.
It's 9 o'clock.
100.5 Inspiration FM.
Ibadan, what's up?
100.5.
Number one, Family Radio. It's time for a news update now on Inspiration 100.5 FM.
A very good morning to you. This is the news update at 9 on Inspiration 100.5 FM. I am James Odediro. We begin with reports that the Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, has described as absurd the demands being made and the ultimatum issued by the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors to the federal government. It will be recalled that the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors to the federal government had earlier given the federal government 2 weeks to meet its demands or face industrial